Echo Charles, any closing words?
I feel like we should talk about the movie Top Gun a little bit, right?
No.
Actually, one question. You know how like when you watch Top Gun, right? Of course, Maverick, that's your guy, or Goose, that's your guy. Did you like Iceman? Because he was pretty dope. You know what I'm talking about, right?
I do, absolutely.
Yeah.
Who doesn't like Iceman?
Boom. See?
Absolutely.
Yeah. There it is.
Yep.
Simple as that.
Yeah.
That's your one question.
Profound question. Yeah. Or did you ever buzz the tower? You know what I'm saying?
That never happened.
Is that fake?
It
Is that
is.
like you can't really do that?
You can't really do that.
Well, you could do it.
You
You
can
be in a ton of trouble.
As they say, you can do anything once. You can do that once.
And then what? You're out.
You're out.
But not if you're Maverick. You know what I'm saying?
Right on.
Awesome. Dave, man, obviously thanks a ton for coming on. You got any closing remarks? And I'm sure we'll do this again, and when you listen to this, you'll think of a bunch of stuff that we should have said on this one, but anything else you want to wrap it up with for today?
Yeah, man. First, thanks. This was awesome. I've been thinking about this for a couple weeks now. We've been talking about it. I was super fired up to be here, and this was awesome. We were talking about it just briefly, and I mentioned it. My wife, obviously, I talked about the things that they went through. So my wife and my mom, those are my family. Those are folks that endured to whatever degree that when you're removed. I think when you're on deployment and you do this stuff, it's hard. But it's actually in some ways harder for the people that you leave behind because they don't know what's going on. They're just waiting and wondering and dealing with it, and they're kind of holding their breath. I remember a story that Whitney told me when I was deployed. I didn't think about any of this stuff. A buddy of Neil's had come to the house. He was gone, and he couldn't get in the house, and he was knocking on the window, which was by the front of the house, and kind of ringing the doorbell. And it was like late at night, like not a time that somebody should be at the door. And she didn't want to answer the door. And she's telling me, and this stuff, you don't think about that stuff until you get back and you hear the stories, because you don't really think about what your family's going through because you're busy and you're doing your thing. And she talked about the thing that she hated the most was people knocking on the door, because she was always just sort of a tiny bit paranoid that it was going to be somebody coming to tell her about me. Chris's mom, Kathy Leon, who's someone I don't even have the words to describe how much I love her and admire her. And it's not just about her loss. She had to answer that call. Well, she had to take that call on June 20th, 2006. She took that phone call. But that woman has endured the loss of a Marine who sacrificed himself on behalf of the entire country. And my relationship, the irony of all this is that I would not have a relationship with Kathy if Chris wasn't killed. And I would give anything to take that day back and bring him home. I would trade any of it. But the goodness that comes out of that, there is always some goodness, if you look for it hard enough, that comes out of all this stuff and the loss and the things that you sacrifice. And I know Kathy certainly is listening, and I never anticipated having a relationship with someone like that based on those circumstances, but my relationship with her is really important. And what she has done for the country is really important. And if you look hard enough in the worst situations, you find something that's good. And my relationship with her is really good. And it would be wrong for me to go through this whole podcast and talking about all those things without acknowledging that goodness with her. So I wanted to mention that.
Well, Dave, obviously, thanks for coming on. I know we've been talking about this for a while, and it's great to have you on. And thanks for sharing your story with us, the story of you, a Marine, a fighter pilot, a forward air controller, but also a son, a brother, a father, a person. And yeah, thanks for sharing the story of Corporal Chris Leon, a Marine, no doubt, a hero without question. But let us always remember that these men These men we call warriors. These men we call soldiers. These men we call Marines. These men we call heroes. Let us never forget that they're people. Sons and daughters, husbands and wives, and brothers and sisters. And let us not forget that they're not only courageous and vigilant and bold and aggressive and inspiring, but they're also funny and outrageous and flawed like any of us. And that they're loving and loved. And that they're people. People who left behind people. And those that are left behind never forget. Like Chris Leon's mom, Kathy Leon, who wrote a note on his memorial page back in 2008. And she said, "Hi, baby. Another difficult day to face without you here. I never thought that Memorial Day would be in memory of you, my dear, sweet, beautiful son. It's been 1 year, 11 months, and 5 days. So close to 2 years that I cannot bear the thought. We honor you by flying the flag every day, and we will place your American Heroes tribute banner for all to see tomorrow. Of course, we will cry more tears and maybe find a smile or laugh as we remember your deep voice, great smile, joking sense of humor, and the love you showed to us. Our hearts are forever empty and broken without you. Miss you so much and love you more. All our love. Mom and Dad. Remember. Remember Major Henry Elrod. Remember Corporal Christopher Leon. Remember those like them who have fallen. Remember them as warriors. Remember them as heroes. But always remember them as people. Remember them. And until next time, this is Dave and Echo and Jocko. Out.